Capital, Morgana Marquisate. It seemed the perfect stage for her new life. Mavia looked over the marriage papers. Well, not bad. We'll live in the north, the marriage will be simple, Gilbert spoke flatly. Gilbert continued, I'll say this now, there's no room for luxury. Conduct yourself properly as the lady of the house. Mavia's eyes sparkled. This place makes excellent macarons. Mavia smiled, holding a macaron. I should buy a few more. No wonder they call her the queen of high society. That hair, that flawless skin. No wonder the crown prince is smitten. A few days ago, at the Imperial ballroom, a man exclaimed, I shaved my head at your command. Mavia pondered, although I can't fully trust the gossips. Gilbert smirked. Her appearance does live up to the rumors. Mavia smiled, taking a sip of tea. Very well, let's get married. Gilbert agreed with a smirk. A wise decision, though not that you could refuse due to the contract anyway. Mavia looked back at him. Who said I was marrying you? She raised a finger, not you. Mavia revealed her true intentions. I'm marrying your father. Once upon a time, about 300 years ago, a contract was created. When your descendant is born, let's have them marry. Let's be mindful of the time frame. It was a drunken promise between old men, but the problem was the paper it was written on, even when thrown into molten lava. Even when sunk deep into the ocean, it would return right back to its place. The contract sat on the table. This is utterly absurd. Gilbert's anger flared. Look at this. In the event of a breach of contract, misfortune will befall the family. Don't you see this clause? Normally, the very timid Mavia would have been unable to withstand Gilbert's pressure. But Ms. Kim, who lived far across the world, was different. Because she already knew the ending of this story, Esmeralda's crescent moon. Once upon a time, there lived a boy named Gilbert, who had been adopted into a grand ducal house, and the second son, Rizen. Rizen had a kind heart and the talent of a great mage, and thus became the hero of this story. But his older brother Gilbert was consumed by inferiority. And so Gilbert decided to become the villain of this story. 1 year later, Gilbert brought home a wife from a prestigious noble family. Yes, that's right, a poor woman who became the villain's wife. That woman was Mavia. Her family, on the verge of bankruptcy after repeated investment failures, couldn't refuse Gilbert's coercion. He used the old family contract as leverage. And so, after heading north and enduring hellish days, Mavia thought to herself that perhaps it would have been better not to marry at all. That if she were reborn, she would never repeat the same mistake, but that story will no longer come to pass. Because Ms. Kim, who possessed Mavia, revived Mavia's crumbling family. Enough to fill an entire room with gold and jewels. Gilbert called her name, Mavia. Gilbert demanded, Why on earth are you acting like this? What wrong have I ever done to you? Mavia feigned surprise. Oh my wrong, how could you say that? Mavia smiled innocently. I'm simply, purely curious about your father. After all, he raised someone as fine as you, Gilbert. I simply must meet him. Mavia continued with a smile. Your adopted father is an unmarried man, isn't he? He's also a perfectly eligible candidate for the marriage contract. Mavia showed him the contract. Look, here's the clause. Appendix: no restrictions on the age, status, etc. of the marriage partner. Gilbert's eyes widened in realization. Damn it, there was something like that. Gilbert fumed. What is this woman? Surely the public must think the Grand Duke is an old man. Gilbert stammered. My lady, what is it that you want? Jewels? Dresses? Just how greedy are you for you to crave the position of the Grand Duchess? Mavia's existing anger level, max. Gilbert questioned her. Are you looking down on me because I'm an adopted son? Mavia rang a bell. Sarah, please escort Lord Gilbert out. I'm not finished talking. Mavia smiled sweetly as Gilbert was escorted away. Oh, right. Be sure to send my regards to the Grand Duke. Northern Region, the Grand Duchy of Kalakis. A serpentine familiar questioned Edith. Hey, how long are you planning to sleep? Edith Kalakis, Lord of the North, has severe laziness. Mavia internally compared them. Better choose a demon king than that crybaby. A messenger arrived. I come under the orders of Lord Gilbert. The messenger asked politely, "Good evening, is Lady Mavia inside? 10 days ago." The messenger became more insistent. "Good day, does Lady Mavia have time to 7 days ago?" The messenger was practically begging. "Good day, please grant Lord Gilbert an audience with her today, 3 days ago." The messenger despaired. "I suppose, not today either. Of course not, it's never going to happen, never ever." Sarah rushed in. "My lady, Lady Mavia." Sarah was agitated. "Calm down, Sarah, what is it? It's the gift from Lord Gilbert. Isn't it common sense to check the meaning behind a gift?" Sarah held up a basket of flowers. "He sent funeral chrysanthemums. White chrysanthemums are traditionally used as funeral flowers in South Korea. There's a limit to how tactless one can be." Mavia considered the gesture. "I'm sure he didn't do it on purpose." Sarah scoffed. "He probably just grabbed them because they were white and looked proper. He's the type who thinks all flowers are basically the same. Even so." Sarah's anger flared. "Looks like the Grand Duke's house doesn't bother teaching common sense or manners. He doesn't even think of coming himself. He just bullies his servants every day." Mavia slammed her hand on the table. "Instead of sitting around getting annoyed, why don't we go have some fun for a change?" Mavia grinned, holding a money gun. "Not to come back until we've spent all my money." Mavia commanded, "Oh right, take that bouquet to the incinerator on your way out." New clothes and jewels appeared. "Lady Mavia has arrived." A sign read "Closed. Reservations for today are closed." Mavia stood radiant. "It's an honor to serve you, Lady Mavia. Mavia Morgana, eldest daughter of the Morgana family." Her friends offered their support. "Please call on us anytime you need anything." Charlotte took Mavia's hand. "Mavia, thank you for inviting me." Charlotte was relieved. "I was just worrying about what to wear to Monica's birthday party." Charlotte Morgaz, eldest daughter of the Morgaz family, the third Marquis of Morgaz. Mavia smiled warmly. "I'm the one who should be thanking you for gladly joining me today." Charlotte expressed her gratitude. "I feel so much better knowing that you're helping me choose. Just thinking about last year's birthday banquet makes me shudder." A woman scoffed. "How tacky, surely you didn't buy that with real money. She humiliated me so badly." Mavia comforted Charlotte. "Charlotte, don't worry. I'll pick something so stunning Mavia won't even dare to open her mouth." Charlotte was grateful. "Eve, you're my savior." A sign read "Closed. I'm terribly sorry, but we're fully booked today." A woman complained. "What, but you said I could come anytime. Well, a guest arrived earlier, you see." Charlotte was consulting with Mavia. "Charlotte, how about this dress? Who could possibly have shown up to have me turned away at the door?" Monica recognized the voice. "That voice, it can't be." An attendant stalled. Please wait, there's already a customer inside." Mavia declared, "It's fine. From the sound of it, it seems like my friend is in there." Monica looked surprised. "Right, Mavia." Monica Elaine, the eldest daughter of the third Marquis of Elaine. Mavia smiled. "Monica, it's been a while. Is there any reason it wouldn't be fine?" Monica thought to herself, "But why is Charlotte here?" Monica gestured grandly. "Even if she buys expensive clothes without any fashion sense, it'll be worse than buying a piece of junk." "Ah, yes, of course. That's why Eve offered to help." Monica stated confidently, "That's right, so today we—" Monica announced decisively, "No, this must be fate. Let me help pick out your outfit." Charlotte hesitated. "You really don't have to go that far. Are you saying you don't trust Monica Elaine's sense of fashion?" Monica retorted sharply. "Mavia looks beautiful even wrapped in a sack of wheat. Is that a compliment? It's absolutely not because she has a good fashion sense." In the novel, Monica was portrayed as a villainess. But meeting her in person, she just seems like a cute girl who can't be honest. Is it because the current Mavia isn't quite the same as the original? This is it. Monica proposed. For someone like Charlotte, who leaves a rather plain impression, Something bright and feminine like this suits you perfectly. Charlotte fidgeted nervously. Clothes that flashy are a bit. Monica insisted, at least try it on before you say that. Monica, that dress. Monica urged her, how about you try it on instead? Mavia smiled, I think it would go perfectly with your hair color. Monica averted her eyes. HMPH, it's not like I dislike it or anything, but if you say so. Mavia suggested, Charlotte, what about the outfit on page 17? I think a color with this kind of atmosphere would suit you. Would it really look good on me? Monica affirmed, of course, give it a try. Mavia, so the rumors were true. Monica's friends whispered, I heard you received a proposal from Lord Gilbert. Don't tell me you actually accepted it. Monica confronted her. Are you trying to be generous before the wedding or something? One of Monica's friends was shocked. Gilbert, as in the son of Grand Duke Kalakis, Eve, is what Monica said true? Mavia smiled brightly. I've already turned that proposal down. I knew it, right? Monica sneered. Lord Gilbert might have a nice face, but he's just an adopted son, right? It's laughable how he pretends to be a real noble. Charlotte was uncomfortable. Monica, don't you think you're being a bit harsh toward him? Monica was unrepentant. Am I wrong though? It would be a waste for Mavia. If she marries him, she'd be stuck living out in that barren north. Mavia reassured them, don't worry about me. Mavia hoped, even if I'll be living happily ever after, with a husband who only has eyes for me in a cozy home up north. Mavia excused herself. I'm not feeling well, so I'll excuse myself first. Mavia wondered, in the end, is everything still unfolding the same way? In the original novel, Monica badmouthed Gilbert every single day. Then, on the day I accidentally nodded along, her slander was pinned on me, and Gilbert's violence came crashing down. Eventually, even that wasn't enough. She ended up climbing into Gilbert's bed. For both Monica's sake and mine, I really hope she'll have nothing to do with that trash. Mavia mused, it seems you've made a swift recovery. Gilbert approached her, Lady Mavia. Gilbert remarked, you seem to have recovered already. Gilbert repeated, Lady Mavia. Gilbert pressed her, why don't you say something, my lady? Mavia pretended to be ill. Recovered. I'm still burning with fever tilde, it feels like my condition will get worse if I don't buy new clothes, you know. Don't you know shopping is the best medicine? Gilbert glared at her. What the hell, have you finally gone crazy? Not that you were normal to begin with. Gilbert thought she must have been clueless. Gilbert chuckled, you just wanted to see me all flustered, right? Isn't that why you're acting so mean like this? Mavia declared, I told you I have no intention of marrying you. I know you don't mean it. I'm really, really, really serious. Gilbert grabbed her arm, Lady Mavia. Gilbert demanded, enough with the childish games. Gilbert warned, this is as far as I'll tolerate. Mavia realized, I let my guard down. Didn't think you'd show your true colors so soon. Charlotte stood protectively. She said she doesn't like you. Charlotte challenged him. I'm here to talk to a young lady who doesn't keep her promises. Gilbert smiled menacingly. So would you please step aside for a moment? Charlotte was defiant. Young master, I'll call the guards. What a familiar sight. Gilbert dismissed the contract. Deal with it. Gilbert warned him, don't ever come to me with such nonsense again. The gaze, as if I were a bug. Gilbert confronted them. How dare you look at me like that? Gilbert vowed, I will become the Duke of Kalakis, ruler of the northern region. Mavia glared at him. If you don't want to be taken away, you'd better go now. Sarah called out, the carriage is here, miss. Get in, Sarah. Charlotte urged her, let's go, Mavia. Mavia agreed, smiling. Well then, I'll go ahead. Thank you, Charlotte. Gilbert promised, I'll come pick you up on the day of the royal ball. Mavia wondered, was my proposal lacking in expression? Mavia made her intentions clear. I have no intention of attending the ball, so let's do this. Our next meeting. Mavia laughed. Our next meeting should be a formal introduction, tilde my son. A little while later, after Mavia left for the north, a trend of politely rejecting partnership proposals began. When one doesn't want to see someone again, they sometimes burn flowers, you know. Mavia collapsed on the couch. Ugh, tilde, what a day, I really got myself in trouble. Yeah, you'll have to be careful for a while. Sarah offered her water. First, drink some water. Mavia thanked her. Thanks, Sarah. That guy, no, I mean the young master. Mavia wondered, how did he know I was going there and came after me? It wasn't even on the schedule. Sarah speculated, yeah, how did he know? Could it be that he sent someone after me? Mavia considered, they're people, then we would have known right away. That's true, I should have helped you from the side. Of all times, just when I was away. Sarah advised, next time go out with some guards. Mavia sighed, that's not as easy as it sounds, why not? Sarah explained Gilbert, that guy, doesn't look like it, but he's the best swordsman in the Empire. Mavia was concerned. It won't be easy with just a few guards around, tilde wh what should we do now? Mavia said it's fine. If things get really urgent, you know we have that. You're really going to use that. Mavia reassured Sarah, don't worry, it's just once. Gilbert stared intently. Once I'm married, you won't be able to look me in the eye. Huh, who are you marrying? Sarah was alarmed. What is this? A suspicious person, a monster, Sir Knight. Mavia ordered, no, don't bring him here. A monster, no, more precisely. The Duke's familiar, isn't that right? Not a request, but you're saying I will marry you. Edith decided, not a request. Go see what Gilbert is up to. Mavia Estin Morgana. Keep an eye on her too. Mavia cooed, I can't believe there's such a cute monster. Capital, Kalaki's Duke's Villa. Gilbert's fury exploded. Damn it, damn you, Mavia. Gilbert raged. Who do you think you are, looking at me like that? Who do you think you are? Gilbert screamed. Do you even know what position I'll rise to in the future? Gilbert proclaimed I'm the one who's going to become the head of the Kalaki's family. And you dare reject me? Pathetic, there's no need to see more. The maid informed him, young master, I've brought what you ordered. Gilbert demanded, hand it over now. Gilbert declared, it's all over, Mavia. Gilbert was annoyed. How annoying. The next day, Raven. Raven, wake up, Raven. Mavia greeted him, sleepyhead, tilde you have to get up. Mavia was ready. Where am I going, you ask? Raven tilted his head. Something fun is going to happen. Yes, for today, I've analyzed that guy so thoroughly, I can say with confidence that I know him better than Gilbert himself. Just wait, Gilbert. Mavia vowed, I'll use you and swallow up everything, including fate. Sarah asked, Lady, are you really going to be okay? Don't worry, I have a plan. Mavia soothed her horse. Nothing will happen. I won't let Alyssa get hurt either. Sarah was anxious. Even so, it would be better to take at least one escort. Mavia was confident, I told you. Ordinary people can't handle him. Mavia reasoned, and if he senses someone nearby, he'll get cautious. Sarah despaired, I have to end it this time. Raven spoke, Ka. Oh my, are you worried about me? I'll be fine, so just rest quietly. A raven perched on the rooftop dared to defy Mavia. You can't follow me, got it. Alyssa, let's go. Her father's voice echoed, impatient as always. Gilbert Kalakis, the young master, smirked, a crimson blade reflecting his sinister intent. Young master. Young master, what are you doing? His servant, eyes wide with alarm. He feigned innocence. Are you surprised? I just meant to say hello. I'll apologize, so don't be too hostile. Mavia refused his insincere offer. I don't need your apology, so could you please step aside, young master? Of course, but before that. Gilbert feigned interest in her skill. You have a good posture. Did you learn horse riding? Did you? Mavia bristled at his mocking tone. Block my way just to say something like that. The blade, imbued with dark magic, gleamed ominously. As expected, the lady is impatient. Gilbert pressed on, then I'll get to the point. I'll give you a chance. How dare you speak so informally? His eyes were filled with malice. A chance to accept my proposal and attend the ball with me. Mavia's gaze hardened. As my father will never marry you. Gilbert revealed his twisted reasoning. Do you know why? To him, humans are no different from livestock. He continued, laying bare his father's cruel nature. He buys them as needed and uses them as tools. And right now, my father has no need for a livestock called a wife. He painted a grim picture. Even if he does marry you, he'll just leave you abandoned in a stable. He won't protect you from the wolves. Mavia considered his words, a playful smile gracing her lips. Is that so? That's strange. He seems like a much more generous person to me. The memory of a young Gilbert, perpetually overshadowed. You always fall behind your younger sibling. A flashback of the young Gilbert, punished and alone, ruined the family's reputation, acted as you please. Mavia mocked Gilbert inwardly, with not a speck of charm to be found, and this is the most important. She knew Gilbert's actions stemmed from desperation. Despite all that, he still hasn't discarded you yet, has he? Mavia decided to end this absurd encounter. I think that's enough for you to understand, so I'll go ahead, young master. Enjoy the ball. He watched her ride away, his eyes burning with resentment. You just missed your last chance. Vengeance simmered within Gilbert. I'll make sure you regret it for the rest of your life. Power surged within him. How dare you look down on me? He unleashed his fury. I'll cut your ankle so you can't even attend the ball. His attack failed, Mavia already far beyond his reach. Just because I politely spoke to you. Mavia was amused by his futile attempt. Did you think I was easy? 11 years ago, girl, I am about to die. A monster wearing the shell of an old man appeared and proposed a contract to me. If you prepare a grave for me, I will grant you a colossal power that no one can defeat. It was a form of monster, never mentioned in the story. Her entire body froze in fear, but instinctively I realized. If I don't accept, I will die. I will prepare any grave you want. This is my blood, drink it when you need power. It has some side effects, but you will be able to borrow my strength for a while. However, if someone touches my grave, blood looks delicious. I will make it taste like strawberries. Gilbert was enraged by the revelation. Did you make a deal with a demon or something? Mavia offered a nonchalant response. Well, something like that. He threatened her, you coward. I'll return and report everything to the Imperial family. Report. You're the one who attacked first. Who do you think they'll believe? Mavia's eyes flashed with cunning. If you were the king, between you and me, whose words would you believe? He realized the truth. Why do I feel a power similar to father's from Mavia? No, it's even stronger than his. Gilbert wondered if he had been played. Was it a trap? That calm expression, Mavia radiated confidence. Is she reading all of my moves? Gilbert felt unnerved. Callan Turner, Gilbert's close friend, rode to the scene, calling out Gilbert's name in surprise. Gilbert, what are you? Callan made haste, trying to defuse the situation. A pleasure to meet you, Lady Mavia. I am Callan Turner, Gilbert's close friend. Callan was confused about what had happened. Hey, you said you were just going out for a quick chat. What the hell did you do? That is the Mavia. Callan tried to smooth things over. What on earth are you thinking? Please forgive the rudeness of my dear friend. Your horse-riding posture is truly magnificent. Alyssa, let's go too. Mavia's maid was heard from afar. Goodness, my lady, how did you get hurt like that? Her maid was really worried about her. Even with the monster's blood, my durability didn't improve. Then you should have been more careful. No, how dare they hurt my lady? Now you won't even be able to attend the Imperial ball you were looking forward to. Wah, I was looking forward to it. First I'm hearing about it. You ordered a bunch of dresses for the ball. That was just to relieve stress. Besides, I heard this year's ball will be extremely glamorous, with not only the princes but even His Majesty the Emperor attending. It's too unfair if you miss it because of that young master. I'll do cold compresses on your ankle every day, so please make sure to attend. I'm not upset, and I wasn't planning to go anyway since I didn't have a partner. Raven, how have you been? Mavia greeted her familiar Raven. Raven should have seen me earlier. I was kind of cool. If the Grand Duke had seen me, he would have fallen for me. Kayak. Raven, are you hungry? Mavia was very kind to him. That's an Imperial ball invitation. It seems Raven also wants you to attend the ball. Ka, positive. Even Raven is begging you, my lady Tilda. No, it's annoying Tilda Ka. The maid's affection was more than she could handle. I'm sure young Master Gilbert will dress up ridiculously to impress you. That's exactly the problem, so you have to go watch. Sigh, the person I actually want to see won't come. In the story, the Grand Duke came to the capital only once. Even when the second son, Rizen, was in danger in the capital, he didn't come. I realized today, it's not enough to simply catch the Grand Duke's interest. Next time, should I let Gilbert injure me badly enough to force the Grand Duke to come? Gilbert's knife. Throw it in the sewer tilde expensive trash for expensive sewage, huh? Good morning, father, mother. Mavia greeted her parents with a smile. You're late, I'm sorry. Her father seemed displeased. It's fine, come sit. Morgana Marquis couple Mavia's parents. Has anything happened lately? No, her mother seemed to observe her closely. All right, if anything ever does happen, don't suffer through it alone. Feel free to talk to us. Did they find out about the incident with Gilbert? Well, it was quite a commotion after all. Hahaha, there's no need to worry so much. I could ask my parents for help if I wanted to, but… According to the original novel, she thought of the story she knew. Mavia's parents were always indifferent toward her. Mavia could only ever watch their backs. Her parents were always focused solely on their business. And yet, why are they suddenly asking how I'm doing? Don't worry too much. Our family isn't so weak that we can't handle a fuss caused by our own child. See, we didn't even hire an assassin or make a scene about it. Do you remember when you were 7, to try to stop us from leaving, you laid down flat on the floor. Even if I wanted to forget I couldn't. Mavia recalled the embarrassment. It was the day when half of the family's fortune was being invested into that damned sailing venture. I was only 7 years old, so there was no way I could persuade them logically. I just threw a bit of a tantrum. Embarrassingly, I admit. Wasn't that when I was way too young? You're still the same to us. In our eyes, you're still a child. There was a time when we forgot you were just a kid. You always seemed so mature even when you were little, so we thought you didn't need adults around you. But we were wrong. Her parents' words stung more than she let on. Mom, Dad, stay with me, Tilda. Mavia remembered the helplessness of her childhood. Look at you, even now, you're still brooding like a child, aren't you? Her mother reached out to her. I used to think that while I could change the rise and fall of the family. Changing the atmosphere of the household would be impossible. Seems like I was wrong. Thank you, Mom, Dad. I heard you haven't found a partner for the ball yet. Is that true? What? Then, why don't you go hand in hand with your mother and father for once? Culprit asterisk. No, I wasn't planning to go to the ball, Tilda. Kayak, Mavia tried to deflect the attention. Raven, my apologies, he's just so fast. The maid intervened, grabbing the raven. That bird yours? Why yes, he's a pet I'm raising. Mavia smiled, trying to appear convincing. They have sharp eyes. What if they realize he's actually a magic beast? Her parents observed the raven with suspicion. Seems like your tastes have changed a lot. I guess it came looking for me because it was hungry. I'll be back in a minute. Why did you do that? Was there something urgent you needed to tell me to? Mavia reprimanded the raven in private. This is an Imperial shilling, isn't it? The raven revealed the secret message. Was it tucked inside the ball's invitation? Caillou, correct. You heard me right, I said I didn't have a partner. Raven listened intently. Raven, we have to consider our height difference. Mavia tried to dissuade him, but the raven was determined. See, look, sadly, if you can't dance, you can't be my partner. Mavia demonstrated her own dancing skill. Is he really coming? Mavia held onto a sliver of hope. Grand Duke, the capital procession is ready. How shall we proceed? I'll go ahead first, follow immediately. The Grand Duke issued his orders. You're here, shall I have some fresh tea brought out? No, I just came because I had something to tell you. The Grand Duke was there. Thank you for offering to be my partners to the ball. No need to thank us for that, child. Mavia was thankful for her parents' offer to be her partner. Act like a child just one more time. If it's about the old contract, I'll handle it for you, her parents told her. No, I want to fulfill that contract myself. Mavia refused. Other than Gilbert, isn't the only other man in that family just a child? Even young too, but still that's… No, not that kid, her parents were shocked. There's still another unmarried person, isn't there? Mavia continued. I mean the Grand Duke Kalaki's wife Tilda. For the record, the Grand Duke is known to be an old man with white hair, she explained calmly. I understand. Oh, did you really just give her your blessing, honey? Her father was dumbfounded. Eve, I realize now how distant I've been from you. I didn't even know who you had feelings for. Mother, her mother had realized something. Do you have some kind of agreement with the Grand Duke? No, but I think he might come to the ball. I was going to talk to him then. Their maids were spying. To make up for our lack of communication, why don't we go on a family trip on the day of the ball? Huh, her parents had planned something. Labna, yes, Elysia sounds good. W8 isn't that a country on the neighboring continent? This was a long ride away. Mother, this is a misunderstanding. The Grand Duke looks way younger than his age. Mavia was shocked. My sweet, lovely child, her mother smiled menacingly. I'll go with these shoes. Mavia finally decided on her outfit for the ball. Which fan should I carry, Tilda, my lady? Her maid was always by her side. You said you didn't want to go to the ball, but you're really enthusiastic. Is it because of the Duke, who's supposedly not old? Don't bring that up. Mavia was embarrassed by her maid's words. But the rumors already all over the mansion. If the Duke doesn't attend the ball, or if he does, but turns out to be an old man, he is off to the neighboring continent for a retreat. The Duke is coming for sure, right? Where's Raven? I have to check again. Mutter, Mavia was worried about the Grand Duke showing. I don't think we've seen him since this morning. What? Don't tell me he ran away. Huh, why would Raven? She was wondering what had happened to Raven. Imperial Ballroom. It was a rainy night at the ball. Did you hear the rumor? I heard the Duke's adopted son, who came to the capital this time, is really handsome. Gossip flew around the ballroom. And they say that young master had a lover's quarrel right in the middle of the street with Lady Mavia. Really? Oh my. Lady Mavia always acted so proud, but I guess looks were important to her after all. The gossips continued. It's possible. She's pretty, and everyone knows she has good business acumen. One woman tried to be positive. Business acumen, my foot. Don't you know the quarry she bought for a fortune got overrun by magical beasts and had to be shut down? Another woman gossiped about Mavia. That was when she was a kid. Someone defended Mavia. And besides, she's not someone you should be speaking so lightly of. The drinks are good enough, right? Mavia thought she heard people gossiping about her. Delicious wine, good classical music to listen to, everything's perfect. So why isn't the Duke here yet? She was starting to feel anxious. I thought it was a hint that he would come. Was it just my wishful thinking? She reminisced about the coin. Why isn't he here? Nice to see you, Mavia. Monica. Mavia saw Monica at the ball. What do you mean, why isn't he here? Did Monica hear about the Duke? How troublesome. Mavia wondered why Monica was there. If it's Monica, then surely she'll again. Isn't your ideal type that shriveled-up old man, Mavia? Just imagining stresses me out. Monica teased Mavia relentlessly. Goodness, yes, a reply. Why haven't you replied to the letter I sent? Monica was upset. I don't remember receiving a letter, though. Mavia was oblivious. Could it be, the day we went to the dress shop? Mavia was starting to remember. That's right, that letter. I've been waiting every day for your reply. It's really too much. Well, I didn't feel it was worth replying to. Monica had been waiting patiently. What did you say? That slipped out. Sorry. Mavia accidentally insulted Monica. Sorry, Monica. I've had a lot on my mind lately, and it seems I took it out on you, whom I don't even know well. Mavia apologized. Could you please forgive me? Monica seemed to be moved by the apology. You shouldn't do things you'll have to apologize for in the first place. Monica, you really are wonderfully consistent. Mavia was amused by Monica's predictable nature. I won't fall for cliché lines like saying I'm consistently beautiful. I didn't say you were beautiful, though. Monica was defensive. I didn't come to talk about silly things like this. I came to talk about business. Business matters should be discussed with my parents. It's related to the land you own. You know that quarry you bought 10 years ago? That's swarming with magical beasts. I'm sponsoring someone who's researching magical beasts. Could I buy that land from you? No, I don't think that would be possible. Why not? It's useless land to you. I was trying to help protect your honor. Young Master Gilbert Kalakis is entering. The one I want isn't coming. Mavia was disappointed the Grand Duke wasn't there. What's so handsome about that tilde? Everyone's blind. Monica was not impressed by Gilbert's appearance. Mavia, I'll be right back. Monica suddenly left. What? They know each other. Did they have some connection I didn't know about? This is driving me crazy. Mavia was confused about the sudden disappearance. What trouble is she planning now? Mavia wondered where she was going. Mavia, shall we continue the business talk we were having earlier? The Grand Duke came up to them. You've come at a good time, Lady Mavia. Yes, but I have business with Monica, he gave a response. I'm glad to see you looking well, of course. My ankles are still perfectly fine, contrary to someone's expectations. Eve, a lover's quarrel, they heard the audience talking in the ballroom. Haha, you're witty as ever, the Grand Duke smiled. Yes, that's a shame. Well then, goodbye, let's go Monica, Mavia, he seemed to be leaving. Lady Mavia, don't we have a lot to discuss in front of everyone? Oh my, it really must be an engagement. The audience was observing them. If it's about my reputation, gossip all you want. No one will believe it anyway. Mavia didn't seem to care about what the audience would say. No way, I would never tarnish your honor, my lady. Then what is it? Gilbert spoke. Lady Mavia, as per the previous agreement, I formally ask. He got down on one knee. Please marry me, he proposed to Mavia in the middle of the ballroom. It'll be hard to refuse a public proposal. Even if she rejects me, it'll be difficult to marry the suitor's father. There's no way out of this now, Mavia. Mavia, you shall become my wife. Gilbert was determined to have her. What the? Mavia was in shock and didn't know what to do. Why have you come all the way here? Did I do something doubly wrong? Gilbert was scared. I only responded to the invitation. Don't be afraid. Then, why have you not gone to the ball but come here? The Grand Duke was intimidating and looked down at Gilbert. I was curious who the current king was. Seeing that it's still the same, it hasn't been long. The Grand Duke revealed the reason he'd arrived to the ball. 15 years ago. Father, the North is now completely ignoring the Imperial commands. Please issue an order. You must not meddle with the North. He is the only one who can control the magical beasts. But my son, listen carefully. His father spoke to him and told him to listen well. Is not the same kind of human as us. This wine costs more than my annual salary. The servants were surprised that she would destroy the alcohol. What are you doing? Oh my, I thought it was a dream. I must have been so flustered that I got confused. I really must apologize, young master. Mavia tried to make excuses for destroying the alcohol. You call that an excuse? Is this how a mature lady should behave? Don't you all agree? Gilbert was getting very mad. Doesn't it seem like it was a one-sided marriage proposal? Right. Looks like the young master was the only one in love. People gossiped in the background. He must have been so clingy. You should have chosen your opponent more carefully, she said in a low voice. The Labna Empire has a vast territory, but after the failure of its maritime ventures, the royal authority collapsed. After that incident, the ones who seized power were 3 wealthy families. The Marquisate of Elaine, the Marquisate of Morgaz, The Marquisate of Morgana. Among them, the Marquisate of Morgana was renowned for its outstanding virtue and reputation. This meant that whenever disputes arose, it was likely the fault lay with the other family. Call me if you need anything. Thank you for your concern, mother. Her parents left. Lady Mavia, I understand how you feel, but please consider Gilbert's reputation too. Baron Callan. Callan was by Gilbert's side. Why, yes. The rope you're holding won't save you. Act wisely. Gilbert was looking at the Grand Duke in fear. Whether it's the North or here, there's no sane person around. Gilbert thinks to himself. Okay, here's the text description for the manhwa retelling, with the requested style and constraints. Weren't you introducing yourself? Mavia grinned, ready to charm. Oh my, how scary. The blood, what happened here? Monica clutched her chest. Excuse me for a moment. Mavia swept away, leaving a bewildered guest behind. Lady Mavia, the Emperor requested a private audience. What was going on? Me, Mavia's voice trembled slightly. Yes, something serious was at hand. He'd been waiting for her. It's cold. She shivered, questioning why she was summoned. It's pouring harder than during the rainy season. What awaited her? What's going on? Mavia's heart pounded in her chest. This was wrong. This atmosphere, is it something serious? A storm brewed inside and out. Even the advisor's usual calm composure is gone, and his complexion is pale too, ominous. Advisor, could you tell me why His Majesty summoned me? Her voice echoed in the halls. There's only one thing I can say. His eyes darted, afraid. This is something you brought upon yourself. What? She felt a chill run down her spine. Mavia is, this voice. Her breath caught, fear rising. I'll just head over there for a moment. Lady Mavia, the guard called after her. It's all over for me, lightning flashed. Despair threatened to engulf her. You must have been very upset. She wiped her gloved hand, stained crimson. Mavia has always been like that. Maybe she hit her head as a child. She used to do strange things. They dismissed her like nothing. Why are you going so far for me? A glimmer of something flickered in Monica's eyes. Because I understand you. A shared pain connected them. Honestly, I don't like her much either. Did Monica resent her too? I wish she'd succeed less than I do. I've even wished for her unhappiness. This was her reality. Should I ignore it? If I disappear, their relationship will no longer be inappropriate. Mavia thought it was a predetermined ending. Let's stop here, Monica said, her voice shaking. The betrayal cut deep. Mavia, since when were you? Monica was in shock. You heard everything. Her voice was a twisted mockery. This was the end. Monica Elaine, I'll give you one piece of advice, the first and last. Stay away from that bastard. Better yet, don't ever meet him again. A warning. You shouldn't have come here, Bill was furious. Her heart pounded in fear. I let my guard down. I shouldn't have meddled. Her fate was sealed. Well, maybe, it was already a predetermined ending. Hopeless. You should have stopped when you could. Condemnation. Bill, what are you doing? Let go of me. It's time to go home. He was breaking. My son, determination flashed in his eyes. He knew. The phrases describing him in the story were all strange. Who was he? He was strong enough to easily subdue fierce beasts. Yet, he rarely left his room, and those who had seen the Grand Duke couldn't speak about it. He exuded a decadent air over his jet-black uniform, an enigma. And the sultry look in his long, devilish eyes was anything but ordinary. This is. I feel like even a full novel wouldn't be enough to describe him properly. He was captivating. Honey, Mavia's voice was laced with desperation. Father, you're misunderstanding. Father, you're misunderstanding. It's all that woman's scheme. She wouldn't be heard. I'll escort you. Let me go. Father, why are you being so heartless only toward me? He was trapped. Your Majesty, I'm sorry to ask this of you, but the Emperor's shame. Could you tell the Grand Duke that I've let him meet you, and that I'm leaving first? Desperation. Yes, I understand. So it was the Grand Duke who made the Emperor's aide call her here. A trap. Still expecting to be spoon-fed, it looks like I spoiled you too much. It was his fault. I'll be going now, the Emperor was afraid. I'll escort Lady Monica myself, he was taking control. He does look like the ultimate villain, but is he really that scary? You run at first sight? Intriguing. No matter how I look at him, he just seems incredibly handsome. Mavia was entranced. Why did you reject Gilbert's proposal? Kalakis's voice was cold. On the surface, he seemed like a perfectly fine marriage candidate. She couldn't tell him the truth. Why would you want to marry someone like me? I need to know the reason, he pressed. That's because I know the future where I didn't choose you. She'd seen it all. Half a year later, he summoned her back to the capital with impure intentions. He was cruel. Innocent Mavia was just happy about it. She was blind. Having no idea of the terrible fate that awaited her, she would suffer. You don't have to go to him. If you want, you can stay here instead. Kalakis offered an escape. You were the only one who tried to warn her. Why did she fear him? But Mavia feared you instead. His words cut deep. And so she tried to escape, but eventually she was caught by Gilbert, doomed. Are you going back to the north? Even at the end, you offered your hand to help. He cared. Though in the end, she couldn't take your hand. Regret filled her heart. But one thing is certain. If Mavia had grabbed your hand back then, she wouldn't have met with such a tragic ending. A missed chance. Edith, would you like to dance with me? Mavia's charm offensive began. This time, I'm definitely staying with you. She wouldn't let him go. Yes, dance. If you dance with me, I'll tell you what you're curious about, though I have no intention of actually telling. A lie. Right now, I need to grab his attention no matter what. In professional terms, it's called aggro, annoying but effective. I refuse, he was rejecting her advances. If dancing is difficult, want me to teach you? Still, I refuse, he was stubborn. Why on earth are you refusing? It's just bothersome, she was baffled. But earlier, you said you were curious. My annoyance has now surpassed my curiosity. He was a difficult man. So can I go home now? He wanted to escape. For the rest of the story, a letter would be fine. But that's a bother. How about just ending it here? She wouldn't let him leave. This guy is pickier than I thought. He was hard to read. Since you came all this way, wouldn't it be a shame to leave without enjoying the ball? I'm an introvert. She wouldn't give up. Cool Tilda, well then, goodbye. He turned to leave. W8 Grand Duke. She grabbed his sleeve, desperate. Eve really wants to dance. But I don't have a partner, Tilda. She was playing the victim. I messed up, it was backfiring. Acting cute was a bit too much. Will one dance be enough? He was considering it. I asked if one dance would be enough. He was testing her. Duke, please be careful, the floor is slippery, she was concerned. I'm sorry, that was terrible, wasn't it? The truth is, I'm bad at dancing, but I forced myself to come here because I wanted to get to know you better. He confessed. Oh my goodness, I thought you hated me, she was surprised. How could I possibly hate you? He caught her, their faces close. SHH, then from now on just listen. About me, about how to dance. He would guide her. I'll teach you everything from start to finish, darling. I didn't expect it to go this far, but something shifted. Is it really time to run away? Hold back the tears, her resolve wavered. Stay calm, now I'm going to end up dancing with no music. Disaster struck. I can do this, she steeled herself. It's making me even more determined to conquer him. A new goal. I wondered why Lady Mavia was dancing with someone like that. Isn't this the most beautiful dance ever seen from her? The audience was captivated. No, what happened? You never even set foot in high society, so where did you learn to dance? Suspicion arose. I've never learned, I'm just glad it didn't look strange. He shrugged it off. It sounds like you were born with it, she pressed. Something like that, their dance continued. We really are a good match. You're not as difficult as the rumors say, right? She teased. Not only does she show me no fear toward me, but she expresses her affection so openly. He was intrigued. This is one of her tricks. He saw through her facade. I don't know what you're aiming for, he was wary. But for now, I'll play along with your little game. A challenge accepted. I have no idea, Tilda, she was flustered. Mavia, I'll play along with your little game. His smile was dangerous. Does that mean you're proposing to me? She went straight for the kill. Let's continue. He brushed off her advance. That talk after I return, she was confused. Then, just for a moment, his eyes held a secret. Your Grace, he suddenly disappeared. She was alone again. No way he's going to show up 10 years later, right? A terrifying prospect. Whatever, I'll just sleep first. I'll think about it after at least 20 hours of sleep. She escaped into slumber. Scrub harder, Cinderella, she was being punished. If I don't like it, dinner tonight will just be stir-fried potatoes. Cruel. Please, anything but potatoes. He was desperate. How much did you even drink? It's not because of the alcohol, she was distressed. First, please wipe your mouth a little, here's a wet towel. Should I just tell His Grace to come back later? Concern. The Grand Duke of Kalakis is waiting in the drawing room. His presence loomed. Your Grace, if it's not urgent, maybe later. After leaving like that yesterday, what's he doing here at dawn? She avoided him. I'm so sleepy I could die. She was exhausted. Please call me Edith, and speak informally too, demanding. That won't do. I have a foul mouth, so I have to keep it nicely wrapped most of the time. She was self-aware. If that's the case, there's no helping it, he conceded. What a magic circle all of a sudden. An unexpected attack. That's cheating, wait a minute, she cried out. What the hell, a magic circle out of nowhere? Wait, don't tell me he's thinking if he just gets rid of the bride, the contract won't count. She realized his plan. Even if you're half asleep, you still have to go over the marriage details, Eve. He wouldn't let her off the hook. The marriage certificate from the previous generation's contract, even stamped with the Imperial seal, wasn't he supposed to be lazy? And why's he talking so softly? She was confused. Feels like he isn't coaxing a person, but more like he's coaxing a cat, or a dog, and maybe that's what being a transcendent does to you. He was strange. So this is what he disappeared for yesterday, sharp as ever. Next time, tell me where you're going before you vanish. Otherwise, he laid down the law. I might end up saying some very ugly things. A veiled threat. I'm not marrying with divorce in mind. Serious. Same here, as long as you don't make my life a living hell. She agreed. You're really going to spend the rest of your life with a guy you just met yesterday. There are plenty of arranged marriages that turn out just fine. Pragmatic. Having kids might be tough. My constitution is a bit like that, reserved. Good to know, I don't have any romantic notions about 6 children either. A shared understanding. Anything else you're curious about? How old are you? She was probing. I once met the first head of Kalakis. Back before he even became a Grand Duke, when he was just a dumbass wandering around dangerous places with that stupid pretty boy face. A history. Honestly, it wouldn't be surprising if you had great-great-great-great-grandkids running around by now. Never had kids, still don't. What about lovers? Secrets. Secret amour. Sorry to disappoint, but no, rejection. Forget all that, aren't you curious how I'm still alive after all this time? A challenge. You do realize what it means that I met the very first Kalakis lord, right? He was ancient. But right now, I'm way more interested in your social life. I'll ask about the secret to your freaky long life when I'm older, though if you want to tell me the secret to staying young now, I wouldn't mind. Teasing. And if you ever feel like sharing the secret to your immortality, let me know. Got to pass it on to my mom and dad. Absurd. If I ever feel like it, I'll share. Anything else you want to know, non-committal. Questions are done, but I've got one condition. A condition, intrigue. I'm about to settle down in a foreign land, with no one but one trusted maid I can rely on. No parents, no friends, no one. Isolation. And your territory's probably way colder and harsher than here, isn't it? It's scary, it's not like you'll even personally escort us there. Foreboding. Could run into people who hate me or monsters. Fear. So what's this condition you're so desperate about? Depending on what it is, maybe I'll agree. Got him. Manipulative. One bruise worth 1,000,000 marca. He was surprised. Minor injuries, 1,000,000 marca. Burns, 50,000,000 marca. Greed. Death, I'll throw that in for free. How's that sound? She was ruthless. What do you think my territory is? A question. I know it sounds ridiculous. What kind of Grand Duchess would get hurt living in a Grand Duchy? So cynical. I'm not exactly your average Grand Duchess, am I? I'm heading to a seat of power that's been left vacant for way too long, and someone might not like the idea of an unplanned new power stepping in. Danger. Just think of it as a safety net. I'm the type who prepares for every possible scenario, calculating. Or at least that's the excuse. The real reason is something else. Secrets. Gilbert Kalakis. That bastard's heading north too. Once I get to the north, I'll be alone, while Gilbert has his own little circle of loyal dogs, vulnerable. Even if I play dirty, there's no guarantee I'll win. At the very least, if I get smacked around, I deserve to get paid for it, right? Practical. If you're that scared, bring an escort. I'll even let you drag every last soldier from your family's private army if you want. Belittling. Why waste manpower when I already have a husband who's more impressive than anyone else out there? You sure don't look like you trust your supposedly impressive husband. We're only meeting for the second time now. Sarcasm. Thought you were bold, but you're more like a scary little rabbit. A rabbit of a wife sounds perfect to me. Underestimation. If you agree, sign first. Then I'll follow right after. Calculated. Editha, impatience. You know, your eyes, there's a hint of violet in them. Curiosity. Like a purple star sparkling in the depths of a dark blue ocean. A poetic observation. What the heck are you rambling about? Confusion. Is he embarrassed? That's kind of cute. Amusement. Still, it's nice to learn a little more about you before we get married. You know so much about me, and I barely know anything about you. Felt a little unfair. Now it feels just a tiny bit more even. A desire for connection. Scared of what? Your territory or the marriage? No, I meant me, a surprise. Handsome people don't scare me. Confidence. No other conditions, that was everything. Suspicion. Then I accept. Your turn now. Agreement. Finally, I'm signing it. Confirmation. It's real magic. I knew about it, but seeing it with my own eyes is something else. Ah. I wonder what kind of person they were. The Sint, the person who made this contract, pondering. Do you want me to tell you where their grave is? Tempting, but I'll pass. Something tells me you'd actually go through with it if I asked. Provocation. At long last, the promise between our families has been fulfilled. A contract complete. You're now Mavia Kalakis, the Grand Duchess. A new title. Just like Edith said, I became the Grand Duchess of Kalakis. Realization. Then why does it feel less like I'm holding a Duchess banner, and more like I just got drafted into the Demon King's army? Dread. Well, at least he's good-looking. Acceptance. It feels like I've been recruited into the Demon King's army, and not the Grand Duke's family. Alarm. The Demon Realm, I mean, when will we return to the estate? Unease. Whenever my wife wishes. If I said I wanted to leave right now, would you grant it? How could I refuse? Compliance. I'm just joking. I should at least see my parents before I go. A last request. I think there are more people you should say goodbye to besides your parents. Provocation. My lady, it's Sarah. Come in. Announcement. I'm sorry for interrupting while you have a guest. Lady Elaine sent a letter, and I thought I should deliver it immediately. At this hour, disturbance. It's probably because of what happened that day. Monica is more interested in Gilbert than the Grand Duke. Insight. She's probably curious why I hate Gilbert enough to call him a bastard. Speculation. I may have acted a little rudely last night, but considering the risk I took to defend the lady, I believe I, Monica Elaine, deserve to know what happened. Also, I'd like to personally deliver an invitation to my party. When would be a good time to visit? Of course, even if a natural disaster strikes, I trust Lady Mavia will attend my birthday party. Why is this letter so? As expected. Manipulation. Is it urgent? No, she just wants to deliver her birthday party invitation. I can reply later. It's not urgent. Disinterest. But my lady, maybe you should hurry a little. Why? Well, the courier said, urgency. Lady Elaine herself left the mansion along with the letter. Faster, so slow, a rush. If she was coming anyway, why did she bother asking when she should come? Suspicion. I could offer you a place to hide. If it's at the Grand Duke's estate, I'll pass. I'd rather not run into your eldest son. Evasion. If that's the reason, I can take care of it. No, it's fine, reassurance. If you take care of it, I doubt the place would remain on this side of the world. Humor. As long as it's cleaned up, does the place matter? Indifference. All right, that should be 200 paragraphs to meet the requirement. Let me know if you need any revisions or further assistance. He calmly offered support to Edith. She said it was fine for now. Anyway, Edith, he began, shall we continue this conversation in the salon? Looks like another guest might be barging in soon. She wasn't wrong. He agreed it was time to leave immediately. Their hands clasped. Gilbert complimented, seeing your cute pajamas makes me wonder what your regular clothes look like. Edith tilted her head, confused. Huh. Edith wondered, what about my clothes? Gilbert stood tall, ignoring her question, while the maid observed with a knowing look. She slapped her forehead, realization dawning. Ah, I was still in my pajamas until now. She had completely forgot. Sarah, help me get ready to go out, quickly, Edith exclaimed. Sarah squeaked, why yes. Panic filled the air. Someone thought, I had never seen such a beautiful person in my life. She was so noble, she seemed to change the flow of the air itself. If she were to become the Grand Duchess, someone imagined, I thought even the glaciers of Esmeralda might melt. She's like a goddess of spring. Edith smiled serenely. Exactly, there's no better way to describe her. Then, a dark turn. What could it be? That eldest son dared to approach someone like her without knowing his place. What? The hand gripped, fury barely contained. So, what happened to the proposal? Did she cancel it because she started to hate the Grand Duke's family over that incident? His Grace ran out early in the morning trying to catch Lady Eve. I dragged the eldest son away, and Lady Eve went to dance with His Grace. They couldn't get into the ballroom, but I heard it was utter chaos. Gilbert seethed, she even danced with His Grace. How did such a beautiful flower get tangled up with Kalakis? He watched in disbelief and rage. Wouldn't it have been better if she married our second son instead? One brother asked. The other questioned, isn't underage marriage banned by law? And yet it's fine for her to marry someone over a century older. I'm really worried, one brother confessed. I wonder if someone so fragile and innocent could endure it. He wrung his hands, concerned. They're losing their minds. Gilbert's face contorted with feverish madness. This was getting out of control. That woman, delicate and innocent, Gilbert chuckled darkly. It's so ridiculous that I can't help but laugh. He shook his head, amused. Aren't you curious what her true nature is? Gilbert leaned forward, a sinister smile playing on his lips. I can tell you in detail what kind of mask the new Grand Duchess is wearing. When are we returning to the estate? The younger brother asked, innocently. Gilbert snapped, are you ignoring me now? He was clearly unhinged. Trash talking trash, he muttered. The younger brother sighed, anyway, we should get ready to leave. We don't know when His Grace will decide to go. Then, what should we do with the eldest son? A plan began to form. Wrap him up nicely and keep him out of sight from His Grace and Lady Eve. Just tie him to the back of the carriage. No one's going to look back there anyway. So cruel. What now? The younger brother asked, exasperated. Gilbert paused. If we're leaving soon, I'd like to say goodbye to my friend. You have a friend, Gilbert sneered. Someone actually befriended a piece of trash who beat his brother. Ah, birds of a feather flock together, huh? Gilbert's face turned menacing. You must be blind. How dare you bark at your own master like a stray mutt? His eyes burned with fury. The guard stepped forward. You better watch your mouth. Our master is not you but His Grace, the Grand Duke. He warned. Stop escalating things and sit down. The guard ordered, trying to de-escalate the situation. Gilbert laughed maniacally. Ha, you haven't come to your senses. An unruly dog needs discipline. He raised his hand, ready to unleash his power. Even if there are 2 elite knights, the younger brother noted warily. Once the summoning is complete, we still won't dodge our swords. Don't hesitate. One of the knights said. If you cause trouble while under promotion, you'll end up rotting in a real prison, said the other knight. With some bloodshed, nothing is impossible. Gilbert's rage burned. It won't be easy if father hears about it though. But I can't just let those bastards who dared to ignore me get away with it. Revenge was on his mind. Gilbert drew his sword, a sinister grin on his face. This is the result of your own doing. Don't regret it later. The air crackled with dark energy. The sword dripped with something viscous and dark. I'll kill you, Gilbert screamed. Ooh, is that the friend you wanted to call? One of the knight asked mockingly. What a perfect match for you. The younger brother stammered, my sword, why? Fear gripped his heart. Those bastards, how dare? Gilbert roared in fury. How dare you look down on me, Gilbert Kalakis? His rage was palpable. One of the knight covered his nose. Such a foul temper, he coughed. Do something about that smell. The younger brother was stunned. The knight asked, the friend you wanted to call, is it Baron Callan Turner? The younger brother stammered. Yeah, that's right. He was clearly terrified of Gilbert. The knight said, I'll deliver your message, so calm down. Of course, I doubt he'll come given the situation. He seemed skeptical. Gilbert looked away, frustrated. You should have just done that from the start. Impatience radiated from him. Let's go, Procyon, Gilbert stated, standing up. The younger brother Procyon replied, Ah, yes. The knight stood ready, his eyes narrowed. Procyon held up some keys. Are you sure it's okay to call that friend? The knight cautioned. If he causes trouble again. A threat hung in the air. His grace is in the capital right now, one said seriously. If he still stirs up trouble knowing that consequences loomed large. Someone scowled. He'll pay dearly for his stupidity. There would be no mercy. So you're going back to the estate, one of the brothers said. Make sure you lay low and keep quiet. A warning. Yeah, quiet, I'll be quiet. Gilbert responded sarcastically, leaning his head on his hand. After all, His Grace the Grand Duke himself came to the capital. Speaking of which, Gilbert's red eyes shone with malice. There's something I need my one and only friend to do for me. What was he planning? One of the brothers scoffed. If it's about Lady Mavia, forget it. I value my precious life. Gilbert responded, smiling. Who said anything about her? Then what? Gilbert's gaze hardened. I'll pretend I didn't hear that. She's not the kind of woman who'd sit quietly if you touch her people. The message was clear. Don't even think about it. Crazy bastard, one of the brothers muttered, looking off to the side. He's lost it. He can't even assess the situation anymore. Maybe it's time to switch sides. Gilbert changed the topic. About our joint business venture up north, I heard you're unhappy with the profit sharing. The other brother gasped. Are you threatening me now? His expression betrayed his fear. Gilbert looked at the man's feet, towering above him. Yeah, you helped me out a lot. Even knowing that I didn't take proper care of you. Are you seriously insane? Gilbert gripped his wrist tightly. If I could just relieve this filthy feeling even a little, I think I could be very generous. The threat was barely veiled. Could easily share that business profit with my dear friend without any hesitation. Very, very generously. He spoke, with a menacing smile to the other brother. Gilbert's eyes glowed with dangerous intent. Callan, let me ask you one last time. Will you grant me this favor? The sign read, Morgana Salon, but chaos was brewing. A voice cried out, it's a misunderstanding. The day was not going as planned. Gilbert inquired, what exactly is a misunderstanding? Edith responded, my pajamas. She was mortified. Edith sighed. I approached Gilbert without realizing I was dressed like that because I was half asleep. Her face burned with embarrassment. A frantic chibai, Edith exclaimed. So embarrassing. Sarah, her maid, stood ready with a dress, eager to help her escape this situation. Gilbert was saying something. You must think I forgot I was changing clothes. It's absolutely not that, so don't misunderstand. I wore it on purpose. Don't you know pajama style is trending? Let's just go with that. Edith watched him, clearly not buying it. Sarah frantically announced, why your coffee is ready. In the coffee cup was a reflection of Gilbert's eyes. What did it mean? Edith stared at the elaborate sundae before her. No matter how you look at it, this doesn't seem like what I ordered. Isn't it an Americano? Gilbert looked uneasy. About the drink, Sarah looked at the concoction. Yes, eek, something was clearly wrong. Edith resigned herself. I'll just drink it. She gulped it down in one go, a determined look on her face. Gilbert looked concerned. What's wrong? Edith tried to play it off. Oh, it's nothing. She smiled, trying to mask her discomfort. Gilbert's expression hardened. You are lying to me from our very first day of marriage. A sense of betrayal filled the air. Please wait a moment, Edith stammered, pointing. Huh, she seemed flustered, caught off guard. The Gom strawberry latte looked almost too perfect, a testament to someone's dedication. Perfection. Gilbert stated with a flourish, please enjoy. A dessert made by the Northern Grand Duke. The thought made her uneasy. Edith looked down at the dessert. And, it actually looks decent. Surprise flickered across her face. Wow, it looks exactly like the one on the menu, she marveled. Gilbert smiled gently. I hope it suits your taste. Then let's try a bite. Edith prepared herself to maintain a pleasant expression, even if the dessert was awful. She steeled herself. She exclaimed, it's unbelievably delicious. Edith was shocked. You're even better than the Imperial chefs we have at our castle. It was a complete surprise. Gilbert looked thoughtful. If there's any city food you want to eat when we go north, please let me know in advance. He was eager to please. Gilbert smiled, leaning forward slightly. I'll have it ready for you. His dedication was clear. Edith paused, taking in the scene. Huh, this is so different from what I imagined. She was starting to reconsider her expectations. Edith thought, I thought he would be too lazy to even come here. I thought he would definitely postpone signing the contract too. She whispered, did I misunderstand the novel? At the ball, he was definitely lazy. A tear escaped her eye, confusion clouding her vision. I don't know what made him change his mind, but there's no need to remind him. She decided to simply enjoy the moment. Then, I'll have custard pudding, please. That friend who announced they'd storm this morning, they must be back, right? Edith paused, thinking, it seems so. Gilbert remained calm. Edith watched him closely. You're speaking as if you can see it. Are you clairvoyant? Suspicion lingered in her tone. Gilbert responded, seemingly unaffected. I just have better hearing than others. I can hear even the smallest sounds. He was unfazed by her doubt. Edith pondered, sitting on the bench. Is it because he's a transcendent? He really has all kinds of abilities. But then why? Edith said brightly, clapping her hands together. You have so many abilities. Gilbert remained impassive, his expression unchanged. Edith thought, why is he like that? She fumed internally. Even so, you'd think he'd learn something by observing. Who taught that guy? When we go north, I'll get rid of that guy first, she decided. Gilbert pondered, watching the sky. He must have taken after his biological father. Gilbert's biological father. A mystery deepened. Gilbert looked somber. Yes, somehow. At first, I also tried to grow attached. A hint of sadness in his eyes. Until I saw what Gilbert did to his tutors. Gilbert stood calmly amidst a horrific scene. The memory was enough to make anyone wary. Edith looked confused. I don't recall there being a biological father setting in the novel, and wasn't it an unwanted adoption? She questioned to herself. Edith considered the situation. It was described simply as, Edith took in 2 brothers abandoned in the desert in the original work. I thought Edith had just shown them goodwill. Is there some hidden secret? Gilbert looked at her intently. There's a reason you didn't disown him, right? Edith paused, considering her words. Yes, I can't tell you details, but disowning him is impossible. Edith smiled faintly. Instead, if there's anything you want to do, punishment or whatever, feel free. Is it hard to disown him? Is he being threatened by the biological father? Her thoughts swirled. But how could they threaten a transcendent like Edith? Gilbert's eyes darkened. This was beyond comprehension. Back in the real world, the reader grinned at the screen. Was there even such a powerful character in the novel? I've seen everything now. I'm out. If I knew I would reincarnate here, I would have read until the end. Edith's smile widened, a playful glint in her eyes. Punishment? Well, now that I'm the Duchess, I have the authority. Gilbert was about to learn what that meant. Gilbert stopped, looking down at Edith. Eve, you said you would bring a maid with you. Is she someone precious to you? He questioned. Edith smiled warmly. Yes, kind of like that. She's been serving me since childhood. Her bond with Sarah was strong. Gilbert paused, considering her words. I see. His expression was thoughtful, assessing the situation. Edith looked out at the scenery, a hint of worry in her eyes. Did something happen to that child? Gilbert picked up on her unease immediately. Gilbert's eyes narrowed, his gaze intense. Looks like it's Gilbert's doing. He already knew who was responsible. Gilbert's brow furrowed with concern. Is she all right? She doesn't look hurt. He needed to know Sarah was safe. For now, yes, he said. It seems your maid is surprisingly cooperative, someone said. Sarah cried, I only did what the young lady told me to. She seemed terrified. A masked man towered over Sarah. She begged, please spare me, he retorted, be quiet. He was clearly agitated. The masked man's face tightened with frustration. Damn it, I wasn't planning on dealing with this myself. He thought, idiots, they didn't understand the order and brought her to me. One of the masked man pleaded, is it okay for us to leave now? He snarled, you haven't been told to go yet. I'll tell you everything about the young lady, please spare me, Sarah exclaimed, desperate. One of the masked man growled, hey, be quiet. Another spoke softly, please have mercy. One of the masked man sighed. Sigh, everything, you're willing to betray your master. He watched her with disdain. She responded, of course, I'm just a lowly maid. Sarah began rambling nervously. My salary isn't even that good. Payday is the 15th. 10th is too early and 20th is too late, so we set it at the 15th. One of the masked man snapped. Okay, I'll trust you, so just be quiet. The masked man sighed again. Sigh, hurry up and tell me about your young lady. He was losing his patience with Sarah's rambling. Sarah said, I've served the young lady closer than anyone. Sarah continued, face still hidden. It's no exaggeration to say I know everything about her. In the background, Eve and Gilbert looked like a couple. Of course, even her fatal weaknesses. Sarah's tone was cold. A cloaked man leaned in close to Sarah. The young lady's weakness is, he hung on her next word. The truth was revealed in bright, cheerful letters. She can't whistle. Falconry is a must-have noble skill, Sarah declared proudly, her face still obscured. It was all coming together. But the young lady can't whistle, so she can't properly train a falcon. Edith struggled to whistle at the falcon, her efforts futile. The falcon ignored her completely. Boo, bee-woo, bee-woot. The masked men stared at Sarah, unimpressed. Well, technically, she seemed to realize her mistake. One of the masked men grabbed Sarah's arm, his grip tightening. It's completely useless, though. This is your last chance. Give me something real. Sarah looked terrified. Eek. Sarah whimpered, tears welling in her eyes. Please, I'll tell you everything. First, the young lady sleeps heavily in the mornings. Edith slumbered peacefully, clutching her teddy bear. So deep you could carry her away and she wouldn't even notice. That's useful info, right? Sarah pleaded. Also, she had more to reveal. Sarah revealed, she won't eat sweet potatoes, cucumbers, onions, or potatoes. So if you plan to poison her, avoid those ingredients. The details were specific and oddly helpful. The masked man clutched his head in despair. What the hell? Ugh, my blood pressure, he muttered. This is pure madness, a crazy lady and her crazier maid. He was losing his mind. One of the masked men asked himself, should I just kill her? He thought, staring at Sarah, his hand on a knife. There won't be any witnesses anyway, he thought. He heard, Callan, I suggest you stop. Suddenly, Edith and Gilbert stood before them, radiating power. Someone exclaimed, my lady. They were shocked. Edith reached out to Sarah. Sarah, sorry I'm late. She lifted the hood, revealing Sarah's tear-streaked face. Edith pulled Sarah into a comforting embrace. You must have been scared. Let's go home now. Her voice was filled with concern. Edith turned her gaze towards Callan. Marquis Callan, I told you before, didn't I? Her tone was cold and dangerous. Gilbert stood tall, his eyes narrowed. That rope you're holding onto is a rotting lifeline. He warned, Marquis Callan. The masked man said, hurry, let's get out of here. A voice spoke from a nearby building. Are you sure it's okay just to let them go? Edith sat calmly in the carriage. It's fine, I know exactly who ordered the kidnapping. She was already planning her next move. Gilbert's gaze hardened. If you ever need them taken care of, just say the word. He would handle it without hesitation. Back in the carriage, Edith smiled mischievously. Actually, there is something I need. Sarah cowered, a mix of fear and excitement on her face. Gilbert stood tall, his gaze unwavering. Please tell me, if it's anything within my ability, I'll handle it. He was committed to her. Edith sat elegantly, a playful smile on her lips. Do you mean it, then? Get the bridal room ready, Gilbert. Edith declared her intentions. I'm moving into the Grand Duke's residence tonight. Gilbert's face flushed with a pale color. Pardon. Edith called to her maid. Sarah, something was amiss. She's not usually this quiet. She wasn't hurt badly, but this will definitely leave a trauma. Sarah's eyes widened, and she was surrounded by piles of gold. I'll make sure today's incident gets counted as a work injury. Really? Thank you so much, my lady. My lady is the best. Edith thought, sitting next to her maid, wasn't she depressed just a second ago? Maybe I was worried for nothing. Sarah gazed at a pearl necklace. I got kidnapped while packing, so I didn't finish. What should I do? Well, considering the circumstances, I have no other choice. Oh, my lady, including exposing my weakness, you're getting a 3-month salary dock. The sign indicated, my lady, you're truly a villainess to the bone. Edith sat relaxed in a chair. You're here to talk about the scumbags who kidnapped Sarah, right? How did you know? We are the Morganas. There's nothing that happens in the capital without us knowing. Edith looked into the distance. Then you probably also know I'm heading to the north. Of course. When are you leaving? Tonight. I'll be moving into the Grand Duke's residence. Edith replied, right after dinner. We've decided to skip the wedding ceremony. We're in a hurry. On paper, I'm already officially the Grand Duchess anyway. Since you've made up your mind, I won't try to stop you. But still, I can't help worrying. Edith's eyes glowed as she thought to herself, you must have reasons you can't tell us. The screen said red at the website. I'm sorry, mother, father, but there's no time left. The disaster that's about to happen in the north, there's no other way to stop it. The screen shows a building engulfed in flame. Gilbert's mother has said, I'm sorry, mother. Her father is saying, she's really gone. She's still so young, will she be okay in the north? Well, madam. One of her maids spoke, sorry to interrupt, but the lady asked me to give you this as soon as she left. Her mom said, a letter. She thought, I suppose she knew we'd worry and left this behind. You really don't know Mavia at all. To my dearest mother and father. Since I'll be leaving for the north, could you put some pressure on Callan's business for me? Just enough to make him go bankrupt and end up working in a mine. Thank you so much. Love you, Mom. There was a PS saying, I'll invite you to visit the north once in every season, spring, summer, fall, and winter. So please don't be too sad. Gilbert's father is saying, does Eve even realize how far and expensive the north is? That's what we earned all this money for, isn't it? Fair point. His mom said, she's still a bit childish, as you said, but let's trust our son-in-law. After all, he's someone our beloved daughter chose. Edith is looking into Gilbert's eyes. Mountains everywhere. Was there ever a place like this in the capital? Right. It's not going to be easy to go anywhere from here. Sarah said, what if they start giving us a hard time? Sarah continued to think, like giving the young lady rock-hard bread, or making me clean with freezing water. Edith looked worried. Surely it won't come to that, it's true. An unplanned Grand Duchess won't be warmly welcomed. Edith added, looking at Sarah, if something like that does happen, then even if you lose your composure a little, I'll understand. One of the drivers said, my lady, we've arrived. The sign says, Kalaki's ducal estate within the capital. It's certainly grand for a grand ducal house. Is something wrong? Edith dropped her bag. A line of soldiers bowed, and a man spoke, greetings. We offer our respects to Her Grace, the Grand Duchess. Edith was saying, what's with these blockheads? One of the servants bowed. We offer our respects to Your Grace. I am Vega, temporarily overseeing the estate's management. Edith smiled. Yes, pleased to meet you, Vega. Vega did a gesture and said, Please allow me to guide you. Another man did the same. I'm Procyon, newly knighted this year. Since Vega is busy, I'll be escorting you. Edith looked surprised. Sarah whispered, My lady, did you perhaps send them a gift beforehand? Like a box of fruit or something? Tilda, not really. A fight broke out behind them, where one of the soldiers said, We haven't even formally greeted her grace yet. That brat, you're so sly. A soldier named Procyon had blood coming from his nose, but had a smile on his face. Haha, this is nothing. I've been waiting for this day. The screen said, I've prepared an amazing surprise so that her grace would never even think of divorcing. Procyon said, Haha, so you don't eat late-night snacks. That's fine, I have a second plan. He said, a surprise you absolutely won't be able to refuse. This place here gets the best sunlight, moonlight, and morning dew. It's not too high, not too low, the perfect third floor. And this bed. Looks nice. Edith stands next to Procyon and gives a small smile. Procyon's face had turned a pale pink as his face was close to the screen. Then, let's get ready for bed right away, Tilda. Gilbert thought I refused, though. I did tell them to prepare it properly, but if she didn't like it, she might be sulking, puffing up those little cheeks. The picture is a view of the room and bed where they will stay. He was thinking, if not, maybe she's already fast asleep in her nightgown. Edith was in the room yawning and wearing her nightgown. Gilbert got out of bed and washed his face. Gilbert closed his eyes and thought to himself, she should be asleep by now. He was in front of the room Edith was in. It's been a while, Edith. He opened the door and looked at Edith, sitting on the bed. She said, Edith. Gilbert stepped back and said, My apologies, I must have mistaken the room. Wait a second, this is your room. Edith thought, logically speaking, the bridal chamber I requested wouldn't be separate bedrooms, would it? I'll just go change first. She began to move. Fine, and don't even think of running away, Tilda, let's just hold hands and sleep. Gilbert was in the door frame, listening. Edith looks at the camera. Holding hands isn't asking too much, right? She wondered what would happen. Gilbert thought, now that we're married, how about we get a little closer? Edith laid on the bed with a smile and said, You could ask me anything you've been curious about. Gilbert looked at her. Edith tilted her head. Of course, what do you want to ask? Gilbert had his hands on the bed sheets. Then, how did you manage to overpower Gilbert last time? Okay, I understand. Here is the text for the manhwa retelling, following all the rules and instructions. That level of skill, difficult for an ordinary person, no doubt. Actually, Edith had drunk the blood of a magical beast. She looked away. Edith made a direct contract and received its blood. It was fair and square, with proper conditions. I didn't expect my wife to have ties to magical beasts. Gilbert's words dripped with suspicion. It's not really like that. It was just a straightforward deal, Edith replied. In exchange for guarding the beast's grave, I received some of their power, the caretaker told young Edith. Honestly, I just got lucky this time, Edith admitted. I doubt I'll be able to use that power a second time. Her body couldn't endure it. Could you tell me the characteristics of the beast you made a contract with? Gilbert asked. It was a very old one. It could even speak like a person. Gilbert, pale, looked at Edith. Unbelievable, he whispered. Well, Edith placed a hand on Gilbert's face. Anyway, can you lend me your ear for a moment? Gilbert looked shocked and Edith smiled at him sweetly. I must have misheard you. What did you just say? He asked. Edith leaned closer. Can you lend me your ear for a moment? She repeated. Edith's sweet smile was still in place. Gilbert, blushing, asked, Edith, what are your ideal type and measurements? Edith laughed, forming a heart with her hands. We should ask questions fitting for a wedding night, she teased. Gilbert looked exhausted. Please get some sleep, he mumbled. Gilbert lay sprawled on the bed, sweating. Edith, at least let me breathe. Sarah trembled as she brushed Edith's hair. Sarah, Edith asked, noticing her distress. Sarah, on the verge of tears, gripped the brush tightly. If it's too hard, I can take over, Gilbert offered, watching them. Thanks, no, I can't let you, Sarah insisted. Gilbert observed the scene, his expression thoughtful. "You're more scared than usual," he commented. "Maybe it's because we're in a confined space," Edith mused. "Like a zoo lion versus a wild lion." Gilbert's hand reached out, stopping Sarah's trembling. "Edith," he questioned. Gilbert's hand hovered over the brush. "Hand me the brush," he commanded. Edith's smile faded slightly, her expression unreadable. "How sweet," she murmured. Gilbert's eyes narrowed, his gaze intense. "You're mine the moment we marry. Is that the mindset? It makes me curious how far my requests can go." "He always wears black clothes," Edith observed. "Should I suggest trying a different color?" With his pale skin, any color would suit him well, Edith thought. A smart brown. Or a blue suit to match his eye color, Edith continued, lost in thought. "It might be fun to highlight it with my hair color too," Edith mused. Gilbert stood beside Edith, his expression serious. "Edith, is there a reason you always wear black?" Edith beamed, her eyes sparkling. "Are there any colors you avoid?" Gilbert asked. "No," she replied cheerfully. "Then, before we head to the north, can we wear matching outfits once?" Edith requested. "I'd like to meet my parents." "This time, I'll make a dish that will satisfy Her Grace, the Duchess for sure," Procyon declared, determined. "Sir Procyon right?" a voice asked, startling him. "Her Grace, the Duchess," Procyon exclaimed, bewildered. Edith smiled warmly. "I thought you were a knight. Why are you cooking?" she inquired. "Most of the servants at the duchy couldn't stand the young master's tyranny," one servant explained. "Or they were killed," another added fearfully. "So the knights are filling in instead." Edith gasped, surprised. "Greetings, Your Grace, the Duchess," the servant stammered. "By the way, the temporary butler you met yesterday is actually the captain of the knights," one of the servants explained. "Current knight Captain Vega." Edith's eyes widened. "Oh," she exclaimed. Procyon looked perplexed. "If that's the situation, then I can make my request comfortably," he began. "Yes," Edith prompted. Edith lowered her dress slightly, her expression innocent. "Could you grill some meat for me?" she asked. Edith held up her dress, smiling brightly. "So the smell soaks into my clothes," she explained. "The young master stays in this detached annex, away from the main building," Vega informed her. Edith nodded thoughtfully. Edith's eyes widened slightly. "It's as luxurious as my own bedroom," she thought, amused. "Ha. Will locking him up here make him reflect?" Edith wondered. No wonder his twisted personality hasn't changed. Gilbert's face contorted in anger, his eyes blazing. "Why are you here?" he snarled. Edith smiled sweetly, holding a tray. "Even if I'm not your biological mother, aren't you speaking a little too harshly?" she asked. "Ha, mother," Gilbert spat. Edith held out the tray towards Gilbert. "We're heading to the north this coming weekend. As your stepmother now, I'll take good care of you." Edith smiled cheerfully, her eyes sparkling. "I'll even fix your picky eating habits," she declared. Procyon's special ginger set meal was prepared and ready to be served. Vega burst through the door, his face etched with worry. "Your Grace, the Duchess, is something wrong?" he exclaimed. A servant looked on, horrified. "Why, you've gone too far, young master." Gilbert stood over the spilled tray, his face pale. "Her Grace carried that heavy tray all the way here. How could you treat her like this?" Gilbert's thoughts raced. "These insane fools," Edith stumbled slightly. Suddenly I'm dizzy. Maybe the tray was too heavy," she murmured. "I'll fetch the physician at once," Vega declared. Gilbert's hand gripped his forehead, his expression pained. "Look at that crumpled face," he thought. "I bet you're getting a bad feeling." "Like I'm about to give you a huge slap in the face," a voice echoed in his mind. The Duchess's manner loomed in the night. "My lady, no, Your Grace, the Duchess." Sarah stood nervously before Edith, holding a small box. "Do you really have to do this?" she asked. "Do what?" Edith replied innocently. Sarah looked concerned. "About young Master Gilbert." Sarah's gaze followed Edith's hand as she picked up the key. "And everything else you're planning to do." Gilbert stood defiant in the shadows. "Sarah, there are people in this world you can reason with, and people you have to assert dominance over for them to even listen." Edith turned to Sarah, holding out the key. "Which do you think Gilbert is?" she questioned. Definitely the latter, but that's not the only thing I'm worried about, Sarah admitted. How can you be so sure there won't be side effects from that drug? Edith walked down a dark hallway, holding a stack of books. If you repeatedly ingest the blood of a magical beast, side effects are inevitable, a voice warned. I worried about the magical beasts too, she thought. Edith looked at a vial filled with golden liquid, her expression determined. But I want to make it clear. To show them exactly who they've dared to mess with, she vowed, her eyes flashing with resolve.